bhakti-yoga. The roots of bhakti-yoga are very, very, very ancient and old. In Upanishads, in Bhagavad Gita, in the Vaishnava tradition. And this bhakti-yoga often have resulted in big movements. They have brought more stronger social transformation than any other practices. So what is this bhakti yoga? For bhakti yoga, the word emotions become very important. We experience a lot of emotions in our day-to-day life. There are different emotions such as anger, fear, cravings, guilt, hatred, jealousy, love, joy, happiness. All these different emotions that we experience can be classified in two ways. One is positive and the other is negative. Because these emotions affect our body either positively or negatively. If you get angry, what happens to the body? There's stress hormones called cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline. If you get really angry, then you will feel little tired after some time. You spend too much energy when you get angry. If you are fearful, if you are anxious, again you spend a lot more energy. When you spend a lot more energy, that's when you call that emotion a negative emotion. You say joy. Is joy positive or negative? You go to party, you're very joyful, lot of pleasure you're getting. What happens to you next day morning? Hangover. So is that emotion positive for your body? I'm talking about body. It's not really positive for your body. Let's agree. But there's one emotion which is very interesting, which brings you positivity, no matter what is the situation, and that is unconditional love. A mother who has kids and is so stressful to look after the kids, because every kid has their demand, requirement, and the mother gets no time to even eat. The mother does not even get any time for herself. But raising the kids, does it make her happy? When she loves the kids, does it make her feel happy or sad? When she looks at the kid, that love makes her feel positive. The mother, the new mothers who give birth to babies, the babies have very crazy sleeping patterns. If someone has a baby, then they are the best people to tell. The mother can't sleep the whole night. The baby keeps needing her every after half an hour, 1 hour. And what the baby has to do, just cry. Doesn't have to do anything, just cry, and the mother looks after. So many times the mother does not even sleep for 2 years, first 2 years properly. But the baby makes her happy. So love is such a unique emotion that does not dissipate your mind, that does not cause negative experience to your body. With mind also, your mind is quite easy, focused, relaxed if you have love inside. This bhakti yoga is a path which says something very simple but a very interesting approach. Bhakti yoga says, if you can convert all the negative emotions that you have into one positive emotion, so if you can control all the negative emotions and convert them into positive emotion of unconditional love, what happens outside is a different issue, but what happens inside is all positive. What happens to my body? Body is happy because there is no experience of negativity. My expression, my behavior outside, people also love it. If you love someone unconditionally, understand this word, unconditionally, you will never have any problem from that person. My own experience, I'll tell you. You just keep your intentions clean. No matter if someone doesn't like you at that moment, the long-lasting effect is always positive. This is my experience of last 12 years since I started understanding this bhakti yoga. Keep yourself clean, and that saves you a lot of trouble. And also it gives lasting impression, positive impression. When I think about the people in my life who have influenced my thinking or who have made difference to my life, these are the people who have given me love unconditionally. You probably can fancy some star, very rich man, he may be your idol, but the influence that you have is of the person who has given you unconditional love. Maybe it's one of your parents, maybe it's some distant uncle, maybe it's some grandparent, one of them. Maybe it's your teacher, or maybe some spiritual master that you have met who has given you unconditional love. This is the central idea of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga says that joining others through unconditional love, and that is how you experience oneness of yoga. So in Bhakti Yoga, you experience this oneness with unconditional love. First, you have to have it for yourself, and then you can have it for others. Sometimes people are very strict with themselves and they never forgive themselves. These people cannot love others. You understand the point? Unconditional love is a center point of Bhakti Yoga. This unconditional love allows you to experience that oneness within you and outside of you. The idea of Bhakti Yoga is very beautiful. The foundation of Bhakti Yoga comes to a word called Atma, and the second word Paramatma. What do I have inside me? Bhakti Yoga believes that inside me is Atma. What is Atma? The divine, part of divine consciousness, part of Supreme Being. And what is Supreme Consciousness or Supreme Being? Is the energy from the universe that has made me, and the energy is inside me, and that is called Atma. That divine energy is inside me. So I am no ordinary, isolated, rejected object. I am a part of divine, and that energy exists within me. At the same time, the same energy exists within her, within him, within everyone. So this idea of Bhakti Yoga talks about equality, but just not equality, the divinity in equality. Every object, I look around and I see a tree. What energy the tree carries? Bhakti Yoga says it's the same divine energy that is inside you, exists inside the tree. So the tree and me, the divine and equal. Any human being, any animal, any plant, any object, the water, the mountains, the rocks, the soil, everywhere, the energy is same. And this is the idea of oneness in Bhakti Yoga, connection with every object around me in a positive way. That is unconditional love. This idea of Bhakti Yoga is being discussed in many texts. Narada Bhakti Sutra, Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita as well. This Bhakti Yoga is divided into 9 steps. 9 steps. I'm not going to describe in details, but I'll give you a brief of these 9 steps. The first step of Bhakti Yoga is Shravana. Shravan. Shravan is actually hearing. Hear. Right now what I told you, I tried to tell you some information. If you digest that information, that will become a knowledge. And that knowledge will be converted into wisdom. But it's a start, information, you receiving information. So the first step of Bhakti Yoga is you start receiving this information. This is a new point of view. This is a new perspective of looking at things. I'm giving you a new perspective. How to look at someone. He has the same energy, I have the same energy. So he and me, we are equal. Start thinking. Now when I say he and me is equal, she and me is equal. It's a new thought and I have to digest it. So first is Shravan, listen. Like get the information first. Sankirtan is the second step. Sankirtan is say it. Oh, I heard it this way, that Bhakti Yoga says that this is the information, you and me are equal and you and me are divine as well. When I start speaking something, when I hear something, then I start speaking something, it develops a deeper understanding of that. And I say that I have understood the idea. If I just hear and don't pay attention, I never repeat it, I'll forget it. As simple as that. Sankirtan is say it. Smaran, remember it. Now what is these 3 steps? Get the information, talk the same and remember the same. This is a simple technique of forming a new neural network, new conditioning in your brain. If you just hear something, it may not affect you. If you just speak something, you may not mean it. And if you just remember something, it may never come back. But if you do 3 things for one thought, it becomes a strong conditioning in your mind. It means you start believing in what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're hearing. It develops your belief in that. And belief is a very important thing. Because beliefs affect your emotions in a big way. The cultures have given us beliefs. If I point out this finger at you, you will be angry. Because that's your belief. If someone points the finger at you, it's bad. That's the belief. Because we are conditioned. So this is another new conditioning that we are trying to bring in. But these 3 things will form a belief. Moving on to the next 3 steps. Vandan, Archan and Pada Sevanam. These 3 things are focused on dealing with 2 problems that we have in our life. These 2 problems that we have in our life are attachments to material desires and objects. I am so attached to my phone. I may one day forget to wear a shirt, but I'll always carry a smartphone. One day I'll forget food, but I'll never forget checking my Facebook. New attachments have taken over. And they are dissipating. The material desires dissipate your mind. Now it is very well known, very well proven that your attachments to material objects like phones, money, car, they bring more anxiety and stress than the joy and pleasure. The joy and pleasure is momentary. Say you purchase a new phone, the joy is momentary till the first bill comes, till you see the credit card statement at the end of the month. Oh, I have to pay this much, and the joy of phone is gone. Oh, I need to work hard. You purchase a new car, you're very happy, and second day your car has a nice scratch all the way from this end to that end, and then every time you see the car you're like, why it has this scratch? So is the car giving you happiness, or is the car giving you sadness because it scratched? This is the idea of yogic text. Buddha has dealt with this subject in a big way. Bhagavad Gita has talked about this in great lengths, and bhakti-yoga is also talking about it. Attachments, they create pain and suffering. Attachment to material objects create pain and suffering. Attachment to relationships also create pain and suffering. Just not material objects, but relationships also. You are attached and there is a death. People go into depression for years and years and years and years together. I am not saying this is a nice thing, but if it happens, the attachment virtually ruins your life. So this is attachment, one aspect. And second aspect that is dealt with by Vandan, Archan and Pada Sevanam is ego. Ego. We all have egos. Well, they protect us. If someone comes and hits me, I get angry. Ego. Say, hey, why you hit me? That's fair enough, because that ego will protect you. But then someone just looking at me and I get angry. Someone doesn't look at me and I feel offended. Someone talks to me and I feel offended. Someone doesn't talk to me and I still feel offended. My partner does this for me, but I don't want that. I am angry. My partner does not do this. I get angry. See, my ego has made so many conditionings around me that I have become very, very fragile. And ego is hurting me. Yesterday, not me, I'm just giving you a hypothetical situation, nothing to do with me. Yesterday, my wife and me, we decided to watch a movie. No, it has not happened with me. I'm just hypothetical situation. And then I got stuck somewhere and I couldn't reach. So she was angry with me. So I said, okay, now tomorrow we will go. And she was so angry, she said, no, wait, I'm not coming now. What is this clash? Then I say, okay, you don't want? Forget it. I'm not interested also. What is this? Ego? Our relationships in our lives, our friends, family, social relationships, we are suffering because of ego more than anything. How to get rid of that ego? If that ego goes, say like the wife says, oh, you couldn't manage? Why? Oh, there was a problem? Okay, no problem. Next time we will do it. Ego is not there. Problems resolved easily. I say, I'm very sorry for that. Please forgive. And the person says, okay, no problem. It can happen. No ego with both cases. Things are very easy to deal with. Bhakti Yoga says ego and attachments are stopping you from having that unconditional love. Ego stops me from loving someone unconditionally. Vandan, Archan and Pada Sevanam. Archan is offering the material objects. Vandan is offering your ego. Pada Sevanam is taking your ego to a level where you just follow this divine path without using your rational thinking as far as ego is concerned. The path is chosen by you because you believe, so that rational is there in the beginning when you select the path, but once you select the path, when it comes to ego decisions, you just give up. You just don't listen to that part of your intellect which says no, my likes, my dislikes, my issues, my things. Don't think about that I. The last three, dasyam, sakhyam. Dasyam is you treat yourself as a slave. This is where you cut the ego to the root. You just treat yourself as a slave of the divine. And who is the divine? Everyone around. So you just serve the nature, you just serve people around you, you just serve anyone who comes in contact with you. That is idea of dasyam. Cut your ego to the bottom, where you just serve, that's it. Don't think what the person gives you, what he doesn't give you, what he says to you. Just serve. Cutting my ego to the lowest. And then sakhyam. Once you cut your ego to the lowest, sakhyam is become friend with that divinity. Means you raise yourself suddenly to a level of divine. You know, in Jesus Christ, somewhere in Bible he says, Bible or his teachings, somewhere he says, I don't know exactly where he says, me and my Father are one. See, Jesus Christ has served everyone. He's helped everyone. He's tried to give, he's tried to heal people, he's tried to help them. He didn't want any money. So he had non-attachments. He was not attached to his family. I don't know if he had a family or not. So there was clear non-attachment. The ego was also not there, because when they crucified him, Jesus Christ could say that forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. So he could ask for forgiveness. If he had ego, he would get angry. Anger is a clear result of ego. Anger doesn't come if the ego is not there. So he clearly didn't have any ego. And then he says, me and my Father are one. This is that higher level of awareness where the Atma is identifying itself with Paramatma. He called God as Father. Paramatma is the divine being. So this is exactly what Bhakti Yoga is saying. Atma, I am with that. I am that divine consciousness. So this is that idea of Bhakti Yoga. What is the power of Bhakti Yoga in my day-to-day life? I have given you the path. This is how it goes. Until you become one with the cosmic. Then everyone around, everything around, you can easily connect with them. You know, my problem in my day-to-day life is I am unable to connect with people. These days, I go to Singapore many times. Singapore has a very good metro service. Hong Kong also has a good metro service. I have been to metros in Hong Kong. I have noticed one thing that is very, very disturbing. I've been to trains in Australia also. When people sit in that train, they don't even take their head off the smartphone. Always. And they walk with, and the gaps, I am quite worried sometimes that the gap between the carriage and the platform, but people somehow subconsciously they just get into the train. No one ever puts the food there, but like this. Either they do this or I have lost connection. I cannot talk to anyone around. If I talk, the person is suspicious. They start thinking about pressing the emergency button, calling police. Look, this guy is talking to me and I don't know him. No wonder why we are unhappy in our day-to-day life, because I cannot connect with anyone. I have issues, so many issues. When I work, I just mean business. I just work in front of my computer. I don't even know who sits 2 tables beside. And I don't want to talk to them. I don't know. She looks weird. This is a problem. That's why in all the metro cities, you see people stressed, depressed, anxious, unhappy, sick. The same people, when they come to ashram, they say it's wonderful. What is wonderful in ashram? It's all hard life. Getting up at 5 o'clock, 4 hours of asana practice, crazy thing, 1 hour of cleaning. Sometimes you have to clean the toilets also. Sometimes you have to cut the vegetables. Then someone comes and talks. They may not come on time. Sometimes the lecture today didn't happen in the morning. Question is, are you unhappy? Are you depressed and are you stressed? There's so many people who keep coming back. So many people who say, no, this is a beautiful time I'm having. You know why? Simple reason is you can easily connect with others. You have this idea of equality. And that is why you are happy. Bhakti yoga is a path that makes us feel positive and happy all the time. It's a solution for all our day-to-day problems. Question is how to practice bhakti yoga. One solution I told you, start connecting with people. How to connect with people? Unconditional love. But this doesn't come so easily. So there's some simple techniques I'm going to tell you that you can practice. Simple technique of bhakti yoga. Pick up one tree. My Guru Swami Niranjanananda has given this technique. Very simple technique. Go to the tree every day. Sit under that tree for 5 minutes and just appreciate the role of that tree. What does the tree do to me? It gives me oxygen, gives me shade, brings down the global warming. It does play a positive role. If it gives me fruits and fragrance and flowers, that's a different issue. Just a tree. It enriches my life. And that tree is connecting to the Mother Earth. The same tree gives things and does not ask anything in return from me. She just gives me. If I pull the fruit, she doesn't get angry with me. If I break one branch, she doesn't curse me. She just gives. Just appreciate. I just appreciate her role in my life. This one simple thing will make you connect to your roots. The tree is a symbolic of unconditional love. Mother Nature, for that matter. The river just gives me things. I just go to the river and appreciate the river. I just go to the ocean and appreciate the ocean. These are the practices of Bhakti Yoga. When I start appreciating these objects, I will also appreciate the humans around me. I will start connecting with them. I'm going to stop here with Bhakti Yoga. Hari Om.